Okay guys, let's find the derivative of this function, and we have here square roots in our function. So to make it easier to find the derivative, we have to change square roots into the powers. Okay, so let's rewrite our function. So we will have d dx, and this square root, the outermost square root, will be power 1/2. That's our outermost square root. And inside the parentheses we will have these expressions. So we have x squared plus 1 squared plus, again we have another square root, inner square root, and power will be 1/2. And inside the square root we have 1 plus x squared plus 1 quantity square. Okay, as you can see here, we have outer function and we have inner function. So we are going to use chain rule. But in our inner function, we have another functions with outer function and inner function. So we will use chain rule again in the first term. In the second term, we will use chain rule twice. Okay, we have outer function, and inside the outer function we have another expression with outer function and inner function. Okay, so we will use chain rule several times. So let's start with the outermost function. Chain rule states you have to find first the derivative of outer function and multiply it to the derivative of inner function. So let's do that. What is the derivative of our outer function? And outer function is this quantity to the power of 1/2. So since we have just a power, we can use just power rule, and 1/2 goes in front and subtract 1 from that power. So we will have 1/2, and power will be 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. And inside the parentheses we will have the same expression here. X squared plus 1 squared, x squared plus 1 squared, plus 1 plus x squared plus 1 squared, and quantity also raise it to the power of 1/2. Okay, that's the derivative of outermost function, and we have to multiply it, this our result, to the derivative of inner function. And here you must be careful. Okay, so you have to since we have here two terms in inner function, when you find the derivative of inner function, you will have two terms again. That's why we must use parentheses. Okay, because we are going to have two terms. If you have two in your results, two or more terms, always use parentheses. Okay, open the parentheses and let's start with the derivative of the first term of inner function. Okay, we have x squared plus 1 quantity squared, so our outer function is square, and we will start with outer function. So 2 goes in front of the parenthesis. 2 times x squared plus 1, 2 subtract 1 is 1, so we don't have to write it, times derivative of inner function is derivative of x squared plus 1 is 2x. Okay, this is our first term of inner function, and we have plus and derivative of the second term, and we have here we must use here chain rule twice. Okay, we have outermost function, and inside the outermost function we have another function with outer function and inner function. Okay, let's get started. So this 1/2 goes in front of the parenthesis, and subtract 1 from 1/2, and again it is negative 1/2. And inside we have the same expression. Inside the parenthesis we have 1 plus x squared plus 1 squared times derivative of inner function. Derivative of inner function, derivative of 1 is 0, so derivative of x squared plus 1 quantity squared, so we are using chain rule again, 2 in front of the parenthesis, and we have x squared plus 1 inside the parentheses, and subtract 1 from power, it is 1, times derivative of inner function. Derivative of inner function is 2x. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is our derivative. But I want to show my result as it looks like in the answers of our worksheet. So I have to just manipulate a little bit, use algebra, okay, to make it look like to the answer which we have in our worksheet. So of course you have to close these brackets. Okay, as you can see here, we have two terms. This is our first term, and this is our second term. Okay, we will start out with our first term. So we have to rewrite our expression without negative power. That means this expression goes to the denominator, and in the denominator we have already 2. So the first factor will look like 1 over 2 times this expression. 1 over 2 times this expression. Okay, so that will be x squared plus 1 squared plus 1 plus x squared plus 1 squared to the quantity to the power of 1/2, and outermost function, the power will be again 1/2. Okay, this is our first factor, and now we go to the second factor. So times. Okay, in the second factor we have 2 terms, that's why we are using parentheses. And now let's simplify the first term. Okay, first term, 2 times 2x is 4x times x squared plus 1. Plus, okay, in the second term, so of course you can multiply 2 and 1/2 and cancel them. If you cancel, you can do that, and your answer still be right. Okay, but I'm not doing that because I want to show my result as it is written in the answers of our worksheet. Okay, that's why I'm not canceling this 2 and 1/2. So I'm just multiplying this 2 and 2x. In that case, we will have 4x, right? 4x times x squared plus 1, and this factor we need to rewrite without negative power, and in the denominator we have already 2. Then it will look like it goes to the denominator. So it goes to the denominator, and in the denominator we will have 2 times this expression without negative power. So that will 1 plus x squared plus 1 squared to the power of 1/2. Okay, that's it. So we don't have here anything. This is not a minus or something. So this is it, guys. Now we can rewrite these powers 1/2 as square roots and multiply this entire parenthesis to the numerator 1. Okay, so this entire parenthesis will be in the numerator. So let's write it. So we have fraction, and denominator will be this expression. Okay, 2 times, and outermost power 1/2 will be square root, and inside we have this expression x squared plus 1 squared plus square root of 1 plus x squared plus 1 squared. So that will be our denominator. This will be our denominator, and this entire parenthesis goes to the numerator. Okay, we are multiplying to 1. In that case, we will have this first term. So in the first term, we have to multiply it, right? Okay, that will be 4x times x squared plus 1. This is our first term. Plus, and we have another fraction. And in the denominator, we will have this denominator. So 2 times square root of 1 plus x squared plus 1 squared. Okay, and our numerator will be this expression. So we need to expand the brackets to make it look like to the answer which is written in our worksheet. Okay, so that will be 4x times x squared. 4x times x squared is 4x cubed plus 4x times 1 is just 4x. Okay guys, and this one, it's the same answer which we have in our worksheet. Okay, so this is our result.